Golf Show makes the turn, presented by Ping. Play your best. I'm Corey LaRusso. Arizona Golf Hall of Famer Bill Huffman, traveling Joe Tassoff. Remember, Saturday mornings 9 to 11, we come your way right here on Fox Sports 910. And if you can't get to your radio, you can listen to us anywhere in the world with your iHeartRadio app. That being said, we want to welcome to the program Coach Chelsea Carroll from South Mountain Junior College of the men and women's golf teams. Good morning, Chelsea. And I think the first thing we have to say to you, Coach, is congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on this morning.
Chelsea, I just want to get this straight. Are you the men's coach or the interim men's coach?
I'm the interim men's coach.
Okay. So they're looking for a men's coach, but in the meantime, you just step in and win a national title? Is that how it works?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's been a year.
So tell us a little bit about how this all came about, because I think you also are credited with resurrecting the golf programs at South Mountain Community College.
Yeah. So my journey with South Mountain started in 2019. I was just kind of dabbling around with the idea of coaching in college and got connected with some coaches that directed me to former men's head coach Aaron Pitts. And so I met up with him, and he was looking for some help with the women's team, and wasn't expecting to get a position out of it, but ended up getting the part-time position for the women's head golf coach in 2019. Started off with 2 players, came out to practice, and just had those 2 players, and ended up recruiting 2 others to make the team. And so grew the women's program, going from just, barely enough players to make a team in 2019 to this year. We had a roster of 11 players for the women's side. And then, just watching, Aaron's success with the men's team motivated me to get the women's team just right up there with him. And then, lo and behold, I get the, opportunity to coach both teams. So it was pretty awesome how it all worked out.
Chelsea, that is quite an accomplishment, really, to resurrect a program and then win a national title as an interim coach. It seems like in these days it would be hard to put together a team once you get there, rather than being able to recruit it year in and year out. How did you get things going? Did you send out an email or a text or something, say we need some players? How did you get the program rolling again?
For the women's team, whenever I came on, we did send out a text to the college of, hey, if you want to play golf, tryouts held at this time. I only got 1 response back, and so I was like, awesome. But it turned out that at that time she was playing every weekend, so she was shooting low 80s, and then one of my other girls came up to me. She's like, hey, coach, one of my classmates was talking about how she's interested in golf. I'm like, sweet, bring her in. And so she played on the soccer team, didn't have clubs. I was like, all right, we'll figure it out, and ended up getting enough to make a team. And once you kind of get the ball rolling, recruiting was a little bit tougher in the beginning just because I had nothing really to base it off of. It was more of like, you want to be start of something new, something fresh, and something that you could pave the way of the history of it. And so once you kind of get things going, and social media was a big part of that as well. That's one of my strengths is social media, and so use that to the full extent, and that's kind of how things just get going. And then once you get the ball rolling, the momentum kind of takes over. So that's how that kind of started out.
How about your background? I noticed you were into fitness and things like that. Originally, you were a trainer and stuff. And so did you have a golf background? Had you played the game before when you took on the coaching duties?
Yeah, so my golfing career started my freshman year of high school. And my dad's an avid golfer, so he was ecstatic whenever I told him I was taking it serious and wanting to do what it takes to take it to the college level. Ended up working really hard to get a 4-year scholarship at Rogers State University, which is a Division II in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Had a great experience there, and
played Southern Hills, right?
Oh, yes. They're definitely seeing it on TV and stuff. Last week I was like, oh man, yep, the wind, the rain, and everything. That's all there. But then went into the fitness side is what I was thinking that was my ultimate goal, and went into that for about a year and kind of dabbled in being an assistant pro. I was teaching, working on my PGA at True North Golf Club for 4 years, and then just something inside me wanted to bring it back to college golf, and everything that I was doing was, okay, if this is my college team, how would I manage it? I'm like, why the heck do I not have a college team? Like, if this is what I'm thinking, this is what I feel like I'm basically called to do. And so anyways, when that door of opportunity opened up, I definitely took the first step in there, and it's been awesome. It's definitely something I'm very passionate about, for sure.
We are speaking with Coach Chelsea Carroll, South Mountain Junior College men and women's golf teams.
So, Chelsea, whether you're the interim men's coach or whatever adjective they apply to you, you got the job done. It was, I guess, a pretty exciting finish in Texas, maybe Missouri, where this tournament took place. And how satisfying was it for you to accomplish this task?
Yeah, it was, it was something that it was just, wow. It was just a moment that you couldn't take in just in one day. It was something that we worked really hard this year, and this year presented many trials and challenges, I think, for everybody. Just going through coaching change isn't easy for the players, as well as, stepping in. And I take it very seriously. The coaches in the past, Travis Brown, Jake Carrington, Andy Walker, and Aaron Pitts, they've all built up at such an amazing program. I felt that responsibility on my shoulders to carry that on. And so it was something that I took very seriously and wanted to keep the tradition strong. And throughout the year, just talking with the players and, hey, here's our goal. And just kind of trusting the process more than anything throughout the year was a big key to that. So once we won the national championship, it was like all the hard work of, just bringing the team together throughout the year. That's the moment it was for. So it was a really, really awesome moment for everybody on the team just to take it in.
So let me get this straight, okay? You're a fairly young coach. You're female. And you've got a male team that you're working with. Like, do the guys just respect you right away? Do you have to, knock them down? How do you get control of a bunch of guys? Okay? Because no matter what, that's not easy, okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it was a challenge in the beginning, definitely. It was something that I really had to earn their trust. And they had to understand that I was there to, make sure that they're going to the next level, that I'm doing my part to get them there. And I think building that trust was the hardest part. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, it was different for them as well as just not only having a coaching change, but also having a female in that role. I think it was challenging for some of the guys. And they, some of them did tell me that. And I'm just like, hey, gender aside, my job is to get you to the next level, and that's what I'm here to do.
Nice.
And so, we've had our challenging times, and once they understood that, the end goal is to get them to where they want to go, and they kind of understood that, and we built that trust up, man, things changed incredibly. And so trust is a big thing, and I think I had to earn it as well as they had to earn it. And so it was definitely big, but it also helped having my women's team. They've been with me the last, 2 years, some of them, but I've been with the women's team for 3 years now. And so it kind of helped gaining their insight of hey, she's here for your best interest. She's not trying to make you worse or make you, do any worse or anything like that. She's here to make sure that you're on the right path and that you get the goals that you have set. So yeah, it was difficult in the beginning for sure, but we worked through it.
Coach, looking forward, what kind of teams do we have coming back, and who's going to be better next year, the men or the women?
I'm still driven to make sure that the men stay national champions, but I would love for the women to bring home a national championship for the first time for South. That would be, just to have both teams at that caliber, that would be such an incredible accomplishment. But I know the men's team is definitely established. We still got some good recruits coming in, and keeping the tradition strong, that's the big one. But the women's team, they better watch out. So practices and stuff, we'll be competing against each other to see who knocks out the best scores there.
Chelsea, you are a national championship winning coach with South Mountain Community College. You also have your strong fitness background. What's one great exercise or stretch that you could tell our listeners that you impress on the men and the women that you coach?
Yeah, there's a stretch called the world's greatest stretch, so it speaks for itself. But I have my players stretch before every round, and so it definitely gets all the muscles firing. So I learned it from Exo Sports Performance. That's where I trained out of, and they train, big time athletes, Olympic athletes, and so it's a lunge, and then you twist to the side, reach up in the air, and it's a 3-movement exercise, but man, you get a full stretch, not only in your legs and hips, but also through your spine and your chest. So if you just did that 5 times down the fairway, you're ready to go for the golf game.
Chelsea, have a great weekend. We really appreciate your time this morning, and best of luck in the future with both teams if it goes that way for you.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me on the show. Really enjoyed my time with you guys.
Yeah, you're
right,
awesome. Coach
you.
Chelsea Carroll, South Mountain Junior College, national champions now at the junior college level.
Sounds like she'd be a good coach in terms of her attitude, and she knows how to, it's not easy handling guys.
No, she sounds very positive, and that's important to having a coach. And I'll never forget LaRose, my coach at U of A. He did handle both the men and women teams for a short time where he actually was the head coach of both. And I asked him, I said, so who's easier, the guys or the girls? And he said, the girls by far. They're on time, they're prompt, they're organized, they're dressed appropriately. I always have to worry about you guys. You know how it goes. 6:02.